Have you ever seen an epic battle where 100,000 soldiers face off against 7,000 defenders? Have you ever seen 100,000 soldiers kneeling and praying on the battlefield? The movie Conquest 1453, with its stunning war scenes and magnificent special effects, has become a pinnacle of Turkish cinema history. The film is based on the campaign of Sultan Mehmed II to capture the Byzantine capital of Constantinople. At that time, Constantinople was also the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. The Ottoman Empire's previous sultans had attempted to conquer it 23 times but failed each time. In 1453, the 21-year-old Mehmed II, who had recently ascended to the throne, led an army of 100,000 to capture Constantinople to fulfill his ancestors' wishes. After more than 50 days of continuous siege, with the help of Orban's cannon, they finally conquered the originally impregnable Constantinople, thus ending the Roman Empire in 1480. Throughout the Middle Ages, the Islamic world was far wealthier, more famous, and more tolerant and free than the Christian world. The Pope's Crusaders, under the call of "Cursed is he whose sword is not stained with blood," slaughtered many Muslim believers, regardless of age or gender, triggering this epic war, a direct confrontation between Islam and Christianity. With the Sultan's command, heavy cannons and archers took their positions, and countless arrows rained down on the defenders inside the city. The soldiers inside immediately switched to defensive mode, but the density of the arrows was so overwhelming that many were still hit. At this moment, the Ottomans revealed a secret weapon, one of the film's protagonists, the Orban cannon. The Orban cannon, 8 meters long and weighing 18 tons, was the world's largest caliber siege cannon built specifically to capture Constantinople and was regarded as the sharpest spear in the world. It was a crucial weapon for Mehmed II against Constantinople. With a massive boom, the cannon demonstrated its power, breaching a large hole in the city wall with just one shot. The Ottoman army seized this opportunity to charge. As they entered bow range, the Byzantine emperor ordered archers to counterattack, but this counterattack couldn't halt the Ottoman advance. The Ottomans quickly swarmed to the walls of Constantinople. The defenders inside were quickly repairing the breach. Under a rain of arrows, the siege ladders were placed on the walls. And the defenders retaliated with boiling oil, turning the walls into a brutal battleground. Countless warriors gave their lives for their faith. Beneath the walls, the Ottoman soldiers had already transported a battering ram to the tower. The cries and the sound of the ram's impacts tugged at every warrior's heart. The Ottoman attack continued unabated. And Byzantine defense equipment gradually appeared. The fierce fighting turned this place into a true meat grinder. War satisfied the ruler's pursuit of power while exposing human evil, plunder, destruction, and cruelty. But for the soldiers, war was a test of life and death. The dynamics of the battlefield changed rapidly, and with the breach temporarily patched, the first assault ended in failure. Perhaps Mehmed anticipated this outcome. But to rewrite history, he ordered his soldiers to dig tunnels, planning to infiltrate the city and open the gates from within. The Byzantine defenders didn't expect this trick, thinking the enemy was regrouping for another attack. When the tunnel was only a few meters away from entering the city, it suddenly collapsed, separating the soldiers inside. The huge tremor alerted the city's soldiers.
Buradalar! Ateş çabuk! Taşlayın onları! Hadi avcılar! Kaçın!
And soon both sides were digging tunnels. The Ottomans dug up the collapsed tunnel in order to rescue their soldiers, while the Byzantine defenders also began digging in order to capture people. The Ottomans heard the enemy's sounds, realizing they were close. To prevent more comrades from dying, the Ottoman soldiers ignited explosives in the tunnel. With a final prayer and a massive explosion, everyone inside perished. Hearing the explosion, Mehmed knew the plan had failed. Days turned into 12 with the army still blocked outside the walls. The Sultan then decided to launch a nighttime raid on Constantinople, sending his trusted commander Hassan, who was also his swordsmanship teacher. The Sultan hoped Hassan could capture the fortress for him. At night, the army assembled, and with a roar from the Orban cannon, countless soldiers charged toward Constantinople. Several siege towers moved slowly toward the gates amid the army. The archers inside the city were the first to react, shooting countless flaming arrows at the Ottoman troops. At this point, the Ottomans' battering ram had reached the gate, and the defenders poured barrels of black oil on the enemies, igniting it with arrows, burning the ram and soldiers. The same thing happened to the siege tower on the other side. The wooden tower caught fire instantly when it encountered the black oil and arrow fire. Fortunately, Hassan's siege tower was still intact. Through a lookout, he saw the enemy commander Giovanni, seized the moment, ran to the top, and drew his bow for a lethal shot at Giovanni. But an enemy soldier blocked the arrow. Failing to kill Giovanni, Hassan returned to the tower to continue the advance while Giovanni quickly retaliated, setting up a fireball launcher aimed at Hassan's tower. The siege tower lost its driving force, and the burning soldiers ran around in panic. Giovanni did not stop. This time, he aimed the city defense cannon at Hassan's siege tower and blew it to pieces. Hassan also escaped from the tower car at the last moment. The night assault ended, with the Ottomans suffering heavy casualties and still unable to breach Constantinople. The Byzantine emperor then ordered all captives to be hanged on the walls, demoralizing the Sultan. Blocked outside the walls for over 40 days, the Ottoman troops' morale was low. Then the Sultan's teacher, Aksim Seddin, arrived just in time, guiding Mehmed to elevate his spirit. That night, Mehmed gave a motivational speech to his soldiers. At 5:43 a.m. on May 29, 1453, Mehmed II led his warriors in prayer to Allah and prepared for a life-and-death battle. If he failed this time, he would have no chance to capture Constantinople in his lifetime. Before the battle, an Ottoman warrior sacrificed himself to ignite explosives in the tunnel, causing a massive explosion that loosened the city walls. The Orban cannon then fired, collapsing the weakened walls, and the Ottoman army launched a full-scale attack. Without the wall's protection, the Ottomans quickly breached the city, and the outnumbered Byzantine defenders retreated. With Giovanni falling in battle, Hassan also died on the city wall. He finally planted the Ottoman flag on the city wall, symbolizing the end of the nearly 1,000-year-old Roman Empire. After entering the city, Mehmed II buried the Byzantine emperor according to Orthodox Christian rites and chose tolerance, allowing Orthodox Christians to continue their faith freely.
Korkmayın. Bundan böyle canımız bir, malımız bir, kaderimiz birdir. İnancınızı dilediğiniz gibi yaşamakta serbestsiniz.
This film sparked significant controversy upon release, mainly over its historical inaccuracies. In reality, the Ottoman Empire followed the usual practice of allowing soldiers 3 days to loot after a city's capture, and Constantinople was no exception. Many elderly and children were slaughtered, and thousands of young men were enslaved, but Mehmed halted it in less than 2 days upon seeing his treasures being damaged. He then implemented a policy of tolerance, allowing Orthodox Christians freedom of worship, and designated the Hagia Sophia as the primary Orthodox Church, letting the ecumenical patriarch continue educating the populace. Under Islamic rule, Orthodox Christianity actually gained freedom and continues to this day. Without Mehmed's tolerance, modern-day Orthodox Christians wouldn't exist. This concludes the epic war film's commentary. We only watch the content of the film and do not make any historical comments.